I tell you guys, we can be very emotional too. And I know there's a lot of guys in my 55 years that are way emotional than some of these women out here now that are taking charge.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Knowledge is Power podcast. Got the new setup going, and it's just gonna keep getting better and better. But hosted by yours truly, Vontae Devine, and I got Brother Memphis on here. They first appearances, Brother Mud.
What's good?
And today they said they want to hop on a podcast video and have a good conversation. So let's hop into it. It's about a group of men having high-level conversations about gender roles, kinda. And without any further ado, let's get into the video.
Women should not be in position of power.
Game over, just like his hat says.
I'm the only one. I think a woman can be in a position of power only by herself, but not in relation to being in a relationship with a man. Because when she's in a relationship with a man, the man has to be the leader. The man has to be the one that's guiding the situation, directing the situation. If it's in any other situation by herself with work, with her friends or whatever, she can do whatever she wants to do.
Game over. Your game is over.
I first want to ask, because there was a lot of like has to, have to's, but like not really a reason behind it. Like, can I ask, like, what's your reason behind like why a man has to be in power? Why can't a woman be in power?
Power is such a weird word. I'll say more like the leadership role. And the thing is that a man has to lead a woman. He has to guide a woman, because what happens is that when it's the opposite, when a woman is leading that man, she usually loses respect for him. When she's in a relationship with a man who is, under her, who's submissive to her in a lot of different situations, then she starts to lose respect for him because she's looking for a man to lead and guide her. If you notice, they have sex with the bad boys, but then the nice guys get tossed to the side. You see, why is that?
Well, if you look at them psychologically, they have past traumas and issues probably. But like, look, there's women for you, right? I mean, like, you're on a different scale. What I would say, some women want a guy like you because they don't want to do anything, right? They don't want to take that position. I'm around a lot of women who don't want that. They're in positions of power, not just in work, career, at home. I know a lot of them. I do business. I find women much more pleasant to do business with. But when you're talking about maybe being at home, I don't know. It's just like, I think when you get into your part, your end of the pond, it can get a little bit mucky. You know what I mean? And I don't really subscribe to that as well.
I heard you say you were from New York. I lived in Manhattan for 30 years as a fashion designer in the heart of Manhattan. She was working as a fashion editor. I held it down with the 3 kids. I was the one bringing the money home. I was the one doing that. After my son, my youngest, went back to school, she went back to work. I always wanted to have my own collection. She was like, you should do that now. So guess what? She had the job. She paid the bills while I was building my company. So I could be strong in our relationship and be a man in our relationship, but I also got to know what it means to have a partner next to me and not someone that I have to lead.
Well, I think it's really, really important to specify what leading means. And so right now we're talking about, you talked about, okay, we do the chores. Sometimes she pays more, sometimes I pay more. I think it's looking at a really superficial level. I think what you look at in a relationship, when you look at leadership and the one that is following per se, is who's the one holding down the emotional space? Like, who has the capacity to show up as the rock the majority of the time in a dynamic? And if that is the woman, I believe, for the most part, the polarity gets thrown off and there will be a deficiency in the sexual attraction that she'll have for you. If you are more excessively emotional and unstable than your wife, I do believe that's going to lead to issues in the relationship.
A man's job is to be the mountain that a woman's emotional waves crash into, like straight up. So women are always going to be more emotional than men. Men should be the stable ones. Men don't need to be crying in front of women. And ideally, they're not splitting chores. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I think that if a woman cannot look up to you in some way, then she cannot respect you. And if she cannot respect you, she cannot love you.
I totally disagree.
Yeah.
Totally disagree.
Yeah. And the only reason I didn't come sit down is because I have some really, really good women. And
So what y'all think? Cause I feel like they all had the same message. Cause that's true. If a woman is the one leading, she will naturally lose interest in you. But I've seen scenarios like, I've seen relationships like my grandma and grandpa. To be for real with you, my grandma has always been the one to like speak first, so to speak. But like my grandpa has always been the one working more and whatnot, and like taking charge when it needs to be. But their relationship, he likes to where she does most of the stuff, like speaking wise, or like I want to go to this, or yeah, we're gonna go to that. Like she does most of those decisions.
Yeah, it could be like that. Most of the time, it should be like an equal thing. But like if he likes that kind of thing where they speak for him, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, because I can see, I don't think, because my grandma has obviously not lost interest, so maybe that's old love, to where some women back then, they are from a different time to where they feel like they should be the ones to work, because women couldn't do certain things for the longest.
Yeah.
So maybe because that's old love, a woman says I want to work now, so I will like start being the one that I'll speak first now. Maybe that's old love, but I don't know for sure.
Leadership roles in my businesses, and they are absolute leaders. Now they might lead under me, but I think they stand alone as leaders, and I respect them enough that I would never come sit down over that particular statement because it's too vague. But in the relationship, yes sir, I do agree that a man should be the leader, he should be the breadwinner, and he should be the one solving all the problems out in the world and emotionally at home.
I'm glad again that you two say for work it's fine, but when it comes to our relationship, I got to be the one to wear the pants, and okay, let's not say pants. We'll use the person's words. I got to be the mountain that her emotions crash into. I hate to tell you guys, we can be very emotional too, and I know there's a lot of guys in my 55 years that are way emotional than some of these women out here now that are taking charge. So I think that's
I agree with you. I agree with you. They are, but if you notice,
and I don't think it hurts the relationship either.
And if you notice, isn't it weird that nowadays they're talking about all these single, sexless men and all these guys having issues? Why do you think that is?
They're becoming more emotional than ever.
Exactly.
I think women are putting up with less bullcrap.
No, they're not
putting up.
I am not a sexless single guy.
No, I'm not saying you.
No, I'm just saying this. But
No one said you were.
my girlfriend is an emotional rock for me.
That's what I mean.
I'm sorry, but I gotta strongly disagree with everything you say. I'm also a breadwinner right now. It wasn't always like that though. She's going through a time and she wants to actually do something for herself, and I totally support that. But when it comes to an emotional, whatever you just said, that analogy, look, I mean, I think that's the problem also with a lot of toxicity that goes on, because a lot of men have emotions, you don't know how to express it, and then it turns into this opposite toxicity. How do I know this? I used to be one of them.
Me too.
Like, it feels like a lot of these like rich millionaires are the ones that like have huge high divorce rates and things of that sort. And I think it's because they're just genuinely unhappy. Like, is your woman with you for your security, or did they actually like you as a person? And we're starting to see that, women want me at first, but I don't think it ends well, because after a while, like, they want you for your security. They don't want you for who you are as a person and things of that sort. And that's why we see these millionaires and all these, like, really alpha males getting high divorce rates, because I think at first it starts off with, like, security.
Money doesn't make you alpha.
Yeah, I think so.
No, not at all, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm about to say you educate me. That's why I came here.
A man can just be friends with an attractive woman.
Can?
Cat.
What you think? You said that's a hot topic.
Because
Money can't make you alpha, bro.
if you know what you're doing with your money, you can definitely become higher status.
Higher status in the whose terms though?
And everybody's.
Just because you're higher economically
just the
doesn't
way
make
looked
you.
at.
Yeah, but everybody views richer people as better because they're richer.
You're gonna have the nice car to drive. You're always gonna look good. You're gonna have the clothes to wear, right? Compared to somebody that doesn't have any of that. Like, who's gonna look at them better?
But then we just heard, like, and this is actually proven, all these millionaires women are leaving them because they're with the motherfucker who's strictly business. All they know is how to get money, but they don't know spiritually nothing. They don't know nothing about themselves.
That's true at the same time.
So to me, knowing yourself spiritually and knowing your purpose on this world and not just to have a business that's not helping anybody and only thinking getting your family rich is your purpose in the world. I feel like a spiritual person who is trying to find more knowledge and help people is way more alpha than somebody who is having all these goals to get rich and could help this other person out and could like create a whole kingdom, but they want to be selfish.
Yeah, depending on how you use the money. For
Right, because you said like rich makes you alpha, but those are always the stingy ones though. Because when do you see any alpha person that's giving out money or being like community building? Where alpha
Yeah,
ever?
but how many quote unquote alphas are?
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? The people that call themselves that, they don't be giving a fuck about nobody else.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to call yourself an alpha. Like you would naturally be like chosen as an alpha. I mean, I know a few people that are building communities that I look at as alpha males.
For sure.
But yeah, these rich people, it don't make you alpha because you're not doing that. Like in the animal kingdom, the alpha male is the one who's like actually helping out the whole group. The alpha male doesn't just have his little circle out of the whole fucking like the one big pride lion. He doesn't have 3 females he fucks with and have the other females out there. That's what I'm trying to say. Like his cubs are his cubs. He gonna look out for his whole cubs. He gonna look out for everybody in there. These economic rich people only looking out for their family. They not trying to go back. Man, they be stingy towards their family.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So that's definitely not true. But this is about to be over. We just gonna cut it on this next segment. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.